Yo, what up? Super Demo Bros are back with another video. Of course, we did not do our normal podcast to talk about Steam Next Fest, so we decided to put this video together of our top games or most notable games of Steam Next Fest that we played for Next Fest February 2026. Was between the 23rd to March 2nd. It was a lot of fun. We played a lot of demos. I think close to 90 demos, if not a little over 90 demos were played total. Of course, this list won't be 90 games. We're just talking about the ones that stood out to us the best. It is a mix of myself, Jesus, and Foxy Steve who played them, but of course also the Singer Bro joined me for a few multiplayer demos, so at the end you will hear about those as well. But without further ado, kick us off, Foxy Steve.
Foxy Steve here, giving you the quick rundown on one of the Steam Next Fest games that I played, one of the demos. This one here is The Eternal Life of Goldman, developed by Weappy Studios. This is a gorgeous 2D side-scrolling puzzle platformer. It takes a lot of elements from other various different platforming games with traditional side-scrolling platforming. Gives me a lot of Rayman Legends vibes in that way. Additionally, later on you'll find that there are even some like Metroidvania style game play in here as well. The essential plot for the game is that you are this older man named Goldman who goes on these adventures. Using a cane, you bounce and platform throughout levels, using different attachments and things like that. Again, the thing that draws my eye to this game primarily is how beautiful it is. Gorgeous animations. I think it's hand animated for a lot of it. Just very eye-catching, very unique looking to this game, the way they use the foreground and the background. Additionally, the way they kind of frame the story is that there's a mother telling a story to their child about this guy, and it's going to be, I'm just curious as to where that kind of goes. What they do with story in this game is interesting, with the different characters you meet, different NPCs, very interesting kind of dialogue, a lot deeper in terms of character than I thought it was going to be. But as you can see here, you get to the levels a lot by bouncing around, you grapple onto things. When you get different attachments for your cane, that's how you kind of change how it acts, basically, for gameplay, and how you move through levels. Eternal Life of Goldman, the release date on this is going to be sometime soon. We don't have a set date yet. I think it's just 2026, but I am very much looking forward to this game.
Yo, OMGs is here to talk about some demos as well, of course. This game right here is called Alabaster Dawn. This is one of my favorite demos I played during Steam Next Fest. It definitely has this ARPG vibe, which is really dope, but I also kind of enjoy the sci-fi aspects. I mean, you have like a gun as well as like a sword, but it's a lot of fun. The action itself is quick, snappy. You gotta dodge, you gotta parry. Of course, those things are definitely high tier in the action world. But what makes this game really great is the presentation and the feeling of the polish. The music is really great too. But holy hell, this game is great. It just looks amazing, and it is by the people who made Crosscode. That's right, it's called Crosscode. That game was also really awesome. Kind of a similar vibe, but this game has, to me, this game is a step up in their game design and everything. So really enjoying this one. I'm gonna have to buy this game. Yo, something there's this game called Croak, and this game is sick as fuck. It's awesome. If you like platformers, specifically like I want to say Celeste. Okay, it's a lot like Celeste, where it's like tough platformer, spikes on the wall and floor everywhere. You know, that type of thing. But instead of just jumping or like, you know, I know that Celeste had like a collection of powers that you got over time, like dashes and stuff. This is the main mechanic is you got a tongue, right? And so if you press and hold the tongue against a wall, it'll bounce you against the wall, and then you'll start bouncing backwards. but you know, the inertia of doing that bounces you really far in the other direction if you keep it held down. It takes a second to wrap your head around it, but it's really awesome and how it works. But it plays so well, and it's a lot of fun. So if you dig platformers and you want to give like a new platformer concept a try, try this game. Also, the art style is cool. It's very cartoony and it's animated very, very nicely. You know, I was getting like good frames. But yeah, some of these are really tough. Not for the faint of heart, for sure. Okay, quick word about Wabi Sabi Sushi Derby. Really fun, super cute. Your horse racing sushi rolls. It's like the Uma Sume game everyone's playing. I can't say it. I don't know it. But it's funny premise. Feels like it should be like a DS game or something, or like a Game Boy Advance game. But yeah, the gameplay is actually pretty fun, and yeah, like you race them, and then the people are trying to grab the sushi rolls to eat. You have a run with the cooldown, right? And you have to time it right, because if you don't have the run available, they'll grab your sushi roll, and then you'll just lose the race, and you'll absolutely lose your sushi roll. So you have to like get a new one. But that's just the game, you know, really interesting. Also, every race, the sushi gets like lower quality, because like that's what would happen to real sushi, you know, and you need to eat it fresh. Just a weird game. Pretty awesome. I think everyone should try that one out. Okay, then we got Antivirus Survivors 2003 Professional, which is like it's like Vampire Survivors, the way it plays, but it's like you're an antivirus, and it's like a 90s computer, or like really early 2000s computer. So yeah, you're just kind of like a mouse moving around a field, as you can see here. The enemies come at you slowly. The weapons you pick are like, they sound like computer terms, you know, like hard drives and like firewalls and stuff. There's always like, there's a bunch of stuff all over the field, which again just looks like an MS Paint art thing, but that's just like all corrupted. And then all the things that you could double click on, they do like, you know, they could boost you up. They can mess with you. Some of them are like totally not a virus.exe, and then it'll give you like a chance that it is a virus, and then when it's a virus, it like messes you up or like covers the screen with pop-ups. If you find a key gen, it gives you a key that allows you to open certain pop-up or open certain upgrades and stuff like that. But like the gameplay itself, really interesting. And I keep saying that, but these Survivors games, you know, it's just all about moving around. This game is no different, except for you move around, and then you can double click on stuff. So like it's another layer, of course, but you can't double click on the enemies. For the most part, you're just dodging them, and the weapons are automatically attacking, much like any other Survivors game. But yeah, I thought it looked kind of funny. That's why I wanted to stream it, but I ended up really enjoying this game. Just love the old computer, you know, aesthetic, as the kids say. This game is called Echoes of Mistralia. Obviously, you're taking a lot of inspiration from Hades on this game, so just putting that out there. But like, it's doing it in a really good way. I think the game is really fun. Instead of being like a badass like warrior, you're actually like a mage, and you do start with some basic spells. I know there's other roguelites like this, where you're like a magician and you get spells and you kind of like buff up those spells or swap them out as you go through the levels. But this one played really fun. It had the action, like the tight controlling action that Hades does, and the combinations of like the abilities and the upgrades that you could possibly get seem to be pretty deep. So yeah, really enjoyed my time with this game. Really considering getting this one because I like magic. And it's pretty sweet. Definitely try this demo out for yourself if you're at all interested. Okay, this game right here is called Cicada Mata, and I know a lot of people have talked about this one as well, but to me it is akin to Neon White, or other like first-person shooter, first-person like parkour or like speedrunning first-person game, but there is a gun. I know that in Neon White, it's like a card-based game, so you do have a gun, or you know, you have abilities, but you have to use cards. This game is just straight up, you have a jump, you have a shoot. You also can do this really cool stomp. You're really floaty, so you almost feel like you're flying half the time, but it is really snappy. I enjoy the animation. I like the art style. I don't know what the term is for it. Like, I mean, I would just say cyberpunk, but it's really like, when we say cyber, like we're actually in the internet type of cyberpunk, almost like the movie Hackers, if it was like the look of Marathon's artist that they stole the art style from, but with the gameplay of, you know, of FPS fast-paced game. Really dope. Keep your eyes on Cicada Mata. It's like one of my other favorites, I think, from the event. This game is called Dench Attack. And it's like Tony Hawk meets Subway Surfers meets like almost like rhythm game, kinda. But damn, is it awesome? Or you know, like just games where you have to do a different input at a different time. But I mean, we're melding that up with, you know, skateboarding mechanics and stuff. So of course you're like a train, right? But when you're in the air, you flick the stick in different ways, kind of like skate, to do tricks and shit. And as you go along, you're just getting more moves and abilities and stuff. It's pretty freaking sweet, dude. Dench Attack is going to be incredible when it comes out. I think everyone who's played this game is saying the same stuff. It's awesome, and you just have to try it for yourself. So that's where I'll leave it. Dench Attack is dope.
What's up, Foxy Steve here, coming at you with another one of my Steam Next Fest demos that I played. This one is a follow-up to a spiritual successor, rather, to Disco Elysium from the same developers. I'm very excited for this game. I loved Disco Elysium. I just played that last year for the first time. Played all the way through it, fell in love with it, loved the characters and the dialogue. And Zero Parades for Dead Spies appears to be following in that same type of pattern. Very interesting dialogue choices. You have your internal monologue, you pick your stats, very CRPG, just like Disco Elysium. But in this situation, you do remember who you are, as you are a spy in a fictional country, going on a mission that you don't really know what it is, according to this demo. And you have to try to figure out what that is. There's a lot of espionage in it, a lot of second guessing. And things like that. So very similar to something like Disco Elysium, very similar art design as well, with a lot of these kind of like 2D backgrounds with 3D character models. Very excited for this. Currently there's not as much voice acting going on in this game as I understand it, but of course this is a demo, it's not complete. So when that comes out, I'm looking forward to seeing what the total package looks like. Looking forward to seeing where the story takes us, the twists and turns. So you know, this is going to be one I keep an eye on for sure.
Yo, how could I not talk about this game right here? Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War, boomer shooter, if you will. I'd say like kind of Halo-y vibes. It definitely feels like an old school FPS game. But holy hell, it's freaking cool. It's a lot of fun. It's still very Starship Troopers. You have that intro video with all of the like the FMV stuff. That's super hilarious and super cool. But the gameplay itself was like a lot of fun. You know, I just feel like I'm playing like I don't know, just like an FPS game from the 2000s, maybe almost like the Halo era, if you will. This feels like it's an Xbox game, which I like, but it's also committing to the look of the 2D sprite a little bit here and there as well. But yeah, tone is great, game is funny, gameplay is fun. I need this game too. I need all these games. There's so many games that are great. Oh my god, dude. So then also we have over here this game called Damon and Baby. It's actually made by Arc System Works, who you might know is I think they do fighting games. I'm drawing a blank on the fighting game, but you're seeing an edit of it right now on the screen saying Jacob's dumb. This is, you guys know what it is. But yeah, totally not the type of game that you normally see from Arc System Works, at least that I know of. But yeah, the only way I can explain this is it's like a twin stick shooter action game, but with an anime story that actually like was already hitting me in the feels even from the demo, which that doesn't really happen to me in demos too often. I usually just kind of like focus on the gameplay, but the gameplay's fun. But if you read the description of the game, it says something like it's the fusion of action and exploration, and I think that's really interesting with like a twin stick format. But I would weave like narrative in there too, even if it's kind of goofy. But it definitely feels like you're sort of like reading a manga or something, or anime at times. But the game itself is pretty special. It really stood out to me. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but here we are. Love this game. Think it's cool. Definitely wishlist this one too. Okay, then we have this game called Pluto that I think was just shown at the Kind of Funny / Mix event. That showed like a bunch of indie games and stuff. This one I think still has a demo, so please try it. But it has that kind of Slay the Spire-esque roguelite, almost like card game thing going on, but instead of cards you have fingers, right? And then each finger needs a specific symbol or symbols, right? And like when you use the symbols, it goes over the finger, right? And when it's on the finger, then it's in use for those symbols. But then if you have other spells that need the symbols that are the same and you can line them up, you can like combo them and like boost them. So it's all about like, where are you putting these spells on your fingers? But if you don't put spells on the fingers, it gives you shields, which protects against damage. So it's kind of an idea as to what this game is, and you're like, what? Pluto? You're just talking about fingers and symbols. Yeah, it's a game where it's a dungeon crawling game where you're a magician casting spells, right? Okay, that's the game. All right, I should have said it up top, but I'm like, this game is super weird. It looks super weird, but it's a lot of fun, and I think like the abstract nature of where you're putting the symbols and the way you chain everything, and how the fingers can get like cut off and stuff. It just makes for like a grotesque looking, albeit really interesting and fun, like strategy style, almost card game, but definitely like roguelike experience. It's fucking unique and totally the type of thing I like. Okay, so there's this game here called Volunteer Ascension. The demo starts off, you're not as like the main character, which is I thought was interesting, because apparently this is like a chapter 0. I don't think this content is going to be in the actual game. And the fact that you get to see this kind of, I don't know, flashback or history lesson of like two monsters battling right up top, that to me was like, okay, they're trying to throw some kind of lore history at you. That's pretty cool. But I wasn't wowed by the very beginning part. It was like, okay, you know. But like the art itself is really sick. I was like, okay, they're over here drawing some amazing textures. You know, was definitely impressed with the way that this looks. But then right after you do this like beast part at the beginning, you actually get into the game with the characters. And the characters are cool. They're the world seems interesting. There's like a lot of dialogue in the game in this demo. A lot of characters like in town you could talk to. They're saying stuff. It's like setting up the world, and the setting itself is really cool to look at, as well as it's like enthralling. You know, I want to explore and look like, ooh, what's this? What's that? Look at how cool this guy looks. Oh, what's going on with this? The gameplay itself is like pretty fun, but it feels kind of bog standard in terms of the action and like, you know, the combat and whatnot. But I think it looked and played well and fun enough to want to, you know, consider buying this one. I would say check it out for yourself. There's kind of a lot of games like this coming out, which I enjoy. Like the action adventure genre seems, especially like it's like side scrolling, you know, 2D games, Metroidvanias. There seems to be a revival of those, which I really enjoy. But not all of them look striking. you know, and this game definitely has that striking look. But yeah, enjoyed my time with it. I think it's a pretty cool game. All right, then we got this game right here called Helix, Descent and Ascent. It's like hard to say, you know, I keep trying to say it and I can't say it, but this is like a trippy puzzle game. Yeah, I don't think you could, it's kind of crazy these days. Every game has to be like 18 genres, which is kind of a lot, you know. It's like, why does every game have to be a fusion of so many genres? I don't know, but some games could just be like one genre. And so here we go, we got this game called Helix, Descent and Ascent, and it's just a puzzle game, but it's also a visual feast. It's totally black and white, and as you can see right there, it changes from primarily black with white or white with black, but the art is fantastic, the animation is incredible, the puzzles are fun. I don't know how long this game's gonna be. I'd imagine not forever, but every once in a while a puzzle game like this that's just crazy to look at, trippy and fun and interesting and like mind-bending comes out, and I think this is going to be the next one of those, so keep your eye on it. Check out the trailer for yourself. I don't want to give too much of the demo away, but as you can see, a little bit of that there. There are some crazy things that are happening on screen when you're playing this game. Incredible. Holy shit, this game, Luna Abyss, is so freaking good. What is it you say? I mean, it's an FPS game. A lot of those on PC. Definitely feels like a PC shooter until you start locking on like Metroid Prime, which to me was like, oh, that's interesting. Sometimes I felt like it was a little easier to just like aim myself. This game right here, a lot of fun. I think the action's really incredible. I think it looks great. The color palette of just gray and red is really interesting. The abilities really stood out to me as unique. You know, there's definitely a flow of things, sort of like Doom, like you need to use a certain weapon to do a certain thing against certain enemies, but then again you could just like lock on. Yeah, the art style and presentation and the story all seem pretty top-notch. Didn't expect this to like blow me away the way it did. This game definitely has like the feel and polish of something like almost like AAA, which to me is, you know, a big deal. But it's, I don't know, it just plays so good on mouse and keyboard. I don't know how well it plays on controller, but probably just as good. But again, you know, it's a game, it's a FPS game where you can lock on, so that's that makes it, even just that on its own makes this game pretty interesting. But you know, got past, there's 2 parts to the demo, got past both of them. The second part is like way more difficult, and so you can see like what the, you know, the more later gameplay feels like, and how difficult the game could actually be. Like I died quite a few times, I feel like, in this demo. So yeah, big deal, fun to get through the difficulty, and I recommend you try this if you like first-person games. All right, then I just have to quickly talk about Vampire Crawlers. It's the actual name of the game is Vampire Crawlers: the Turbo Wildcard from Vampire Survivors. I'm pretty sure everyone's already talking about this, but I played it. It's great. It's a card game. It's a roguelike. It's more of a dungeon crawler than, you know, before. It's more of an arcade game. It's not no arcade game, although I guess it's still got arcade vibes, I guess, but it still is Vampire Survivors. It's all the characters, all the enemies. I think even like the zones are named the same, which is cool. But yeah, this is super tight. Like the way you move around is kind of like old D&D games, which is fun. I mean, on the computer, like old CRPGs, but again, you're just using like cards. And the way the cards work is you have to to combo them, you have to put a card down that the value is 1 higher than the last to be able to create a combo. So like there's this like card strategy that's more so than just like, oh, do these cards go together? It's just like, oh, what's the value of the cards, you know? So I think, and I also think that's kind of straightforward, you know. it's easy to understand that. But damn, I need this game in my life immediately. All right, we got Wild Blue Skies, a Star Fox style game. These seem to be happening. These seem to be happening more because it's like Nintendo refuses to freaking make another Star Fox or another good Star Fox, but it's been a while since they made Star Fox. So now the indie gamers or indie developers are just making Star Fox games, and it's awesome. There's another game called like Phoenix something that I played that like was pretty decent, but then this one, like, this game has the sauce. I think they're really capturing the feeling of Star Fox. It has like cool story, cool characters, interesting cartoony cutscenes up top here. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this game, its gameplay, and the world that they're weaving here. It's still just distinct enough to not be Star Fox. But I really enjoyed playing this demo. You only really get one level with the demo, so it's a quick demo. So give it a shot. This game is called Driving Rogue. And it's pretty cool. You literally, like, it's a game about drifting and racing. Almost kind of feels like Cruising USA to some degree, but not really. But it is more of a roguelike than anything else, because as you can see on screen, you flip through cards every round to upgrade your car. So like, you start really slow and it's like harder to drift and whatever. But then the more you finish each round, your car's getting buffed up, and then by the end I was drifting so fast that like it was hard not to crash and everything, which was kind of an issue. But I don't know. I will say the presentation, it doesn't look like much, sorta. I think you could say it's stylized, maybe that's kind of deliberate. It does kind of look mobile game-ish in a way, and I don't mean to insult the game, at least just with some of the way that the game just looks. But honestly, like, don't focus on that. Just play the game itself, and you'll realize that it's just like very addicting for some reason. And over time, I actually got used to the art style and started to like enjoy it. I was like, you know what? This is kind of like an arcade game, so then I could appreciate it more. So yeah, definitely recommend this one, Driving Rogue. All right, we got another lush adventure game, isometric Zelda-y type of thing here. This game is called Kloa, Child of the Forest. The vibes are on, very, very Zelda-y, but like you got a counter, so not. I would just say your standard kind of like fantasy, not ARPG, but like action adventure game. But it's also Souls-like, because then there's the shrines that reset the enemies and shit. And I think you like lose your, resource, whatever that is. But holy hell, fun, really cool, great vibes, great sprite work, great environments. Music was, peaceful and awesome. I think this was night one I played this, and I wanted to try to like do 20 minutes, 30 minutes a game. I ended up playing for this for like an hour or something like that. Yeah, it was like almost an hour. So I think the proof's in the pudding there. I couldn't stop playing it, so pretty awesome. Yo, dude, so there's this game right here called Sand Loop, right? And again, just kind of like a fun platformer, which I would say it is, but I found myself not wanting to stop playing it. It is kind of a simple 3D platformer, but it has a time loop mechanic. It's kind of cool. So basically after a certain amount of time, it resets and you have to start from the beginning, but you are unlocking like shortcuts, kind of like Dark Souls in a way, so that when you come back on another loop, you can skip part of the level. So like, interesting to see the way the game design works that way, where it's like, all right, if you can get through this thing in time, then you can unlock more of the level to play. So that's sort of like the flow of the game, but I don't know. I just feel like the way it controlled and like the way it looked, that kind of PS2 look to it, and the writing's not bad, and that the music was pretty cool. Like, I just thought this was a pretty good game. So check it out, Sand Loop. Okay, here's yet another cool game I played during Next Fest. It's called Town of Zoz. This game is almost like a Zelda or like ARPG kind of game. It's animated it's like the characters are kind of animated like Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse and all those Spider-Verse movies, which I feel like since that movie came out, there's been a lot more games where everything's trying to look like it's a weird frame per second. I think it's a cool thing. You know, it just looks interesting. It looks more like claymation or, you know, like animated by hand in a way, which just, I think, gives these, you know, games like that or cartoons just a little bit of character. But yeah, Town of Zoz was pretty cool. Action adventure game, but then it's also a farm sim. There's a lot of characters. The town itself seemed interesting because it's, you know, it's a full-on town that you're gonna go around and talk to people and do stuff. So there's like a social aspect to it. But yeah, a lot of fun. I think it's super promising. Really like the art and design of the levels and the way everything looks. Everything's colorful and refreshing looking. I think everyone should keep their eye on Town of Zoz because I really enjoyed my time with it. Oh, and then there's also like there's this little ball dude that you control with, I think, the stick. I think the right stick or something. When you're fighting enemies, you can send him to attack the enemy, so you can like coordinate essentially two characters in combat. But he can also help with puzzles, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, super interesting stuff. I definitely, I'm definitely looking at this game with great interest. This game is called Dwarf Legacy, and yeah, it's basically a platforming game. I have this game where you're like Downwell. I have this game called Downwell where you have gun boots and you fall downward, and to stop yourself from falling downward, you press the shoot button, and when you press the shoot button, it shoots a bullet and you bounce up. But it's like more of a platforming game as well as an action game. This game, same vibe. Except for it's more of like a repeatable level, you know, like try to get the best run each time type of game, which can be really addictive. But with this game, it's like I don't know, I just enjoyed myself a lot. I thought the platforming was fun. I thought the mechanics kept growing at a rate that kept it very like interesting. And it stood out to me even if I looked at it like, oh, well, you know, it looks like it might be all right. But no, I actually think it plays pretty well. All right, quick word about Blades, Bows, and Magic. Card game, roguelike, I think. Might be level-based. I think I only played one run, which is the tutorial run. But essentially, this game is paper, rock, scissors in card form. And I actually had a lot of fun with the way that it works. So you know, it's clearly a strategy game. You got to think about the order in which the cards actually activate and who they're strong against. So it's more of a puzzle game in a way, because it's all about putting the right cards in the right spot at the right time. So yeah, found this to be super fascinating and super cool. The background's cool to look at. The cards are animated, pretty fun. I think the game itself is actually pretty rad. So yeah, try it out. Dude, quick side note. There's this game called Directory Dungeon that literally plays in your actual file explorer and a DOS prompt, and you type like you don't type anything in the DOS prompt. The DOS prompt just tells you what's happening. So like you literally play the game as you can see on screen here. I'm just showing you like the Steam screen or the Steam trailer, but everything you're doing, like where you're dragging stuff in your file explorer in the folders of the game, it's like doing stuff in the game. So like for instance, if you have cabbage and you want to eat it, you delete it and it'll like heal you in the game. Or like if you want to move your character from one place to the next, you have to physically move like the character's icon, like the file, into another folder. Super fascinating. Definitely couldn't stream it though, because I don't want to just show people my file explorer and like my file names or what, you know. I just feel weird about that. But it's super cool. Okay, so we talked about the single player games. It's time to talk about the multiplayer games. I have with me, of course, Mr. The Singer Bro, aka Steven. What's going on, dude?
Hey, what's up, dude? Here to talk about some exciting multiplayer demos that we played.
Hell yeah. And the first game you are already seeing on the screen right now is Last Man Sitting. Pretty awesome survivors game that you can play multiplayer. Steven, why don't you tell us what you think of this one?
Yeah, so it's if you've played Vampire Survivors, if you played like a Survivors game, it has that like pick 3 anytime you level up. You can pick between the different things. It's essentially 3D Vampire Survivors meets Tony Hawk's Pro Skater at some point because you grind on things.
There's
and you get a chain
grinding.
gun and an office chair, and it's just badass. And the upgrades get insane, man.
Yeah, we definitely broke the game. In our session, things started getting really crazy. I think I picked like the lightning power that just started. It just did a bunch of chain lightning everywhere, and then by the end, lightning was striking every enemy on the entire battlefield periodically. And then what was your upgrades you picked again?
So I got a katana at one point, or the one I remember the most was the katana, where I was just going around slicing, and I think it was exploding every time I would slice.
Oh, that's right.
Or they were on fire.
Yeah.
It was one of the two, and the fire would spread between all the guys, and it just got the upgrades on upgrades stacked, and it is just like an information overload, but awesome.
Yeah, I agree. This one's frantic, insane. It does have like the shooter vibe going for it, so you're not the auto attack thing isn't happening that happens in Vampire or Survivors games. So there's like another element, but yeah, the grinding is like fun and ridiculous. But of course, you're like on an office chair and you're fighting like robots, so it's also just wacky. So fun as fuck. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
and
look out for this one. Last Man Sitting was awesome.
Wishlist this, please.
All right, hey, this is next game we're going to talk about is Windrose. Now, this has gotten quite a bit of hype around the internet, as it's kind of caught on. It's one of those like survival crafting arc kind of games. But you're a pirate, right? And the whole thing is based around piracy and survival on this island, I guess.
It is pirate survivor game.
We didn't get to play a whole lot together. We encountered some zombies, some other stuff, and some treasure. And you made a little shack. And that was cool.
I definitely made a shack, which I'm showing you now in the edit. Thanks, Jacob, for doing that. Future Jacob. But yeah, I made a shack, and when we say survivor or whatever, it's survival. I don't know if I said it wrong or not. But it's like Valheim and such, where you have to like eat and then you have to like build stuff sometimes, but you're also fighting enemies. But yeah, I like the pirate angle. Although I like in the trailers, I can see that there is some sailing going on and some like cannon fights and shit. So like I think actual pirate shit will eventually happen in the game. But in the demo, we were just on a beach, like just trying to survive against like pigs and shit, killing us over and over.
The boars were intense, man.
They sure were. Weren't there crabs too? I can't remember.
There were crabs and boars and like chickens or something. A bird of some sort.
Oh yeah, it was like some sort of bird.
Dodos. They were dodos.
Oh, dodos. That's what it was. Yeah. Anyway, they definitely killed us. So it's not going to be super easy. But we enjoyed our time with it. The drawback, though, is even though it was a multiplayer demo, it seemed like the multiplayer wasn't working properly because we were trying to like sync up the progress of the quests. But Steven had to like make his whole own area and like basically do stuff on his own. We were just in the same area, so don't know if we did that wrong or if it just didn't work. But
or if it's designed that way, and hopefully not, because if you're in a group, I feel like that kind of stuff should like go together because you're together kind of thing.
Yeah, the survival games are easier with friends because you progress together and work together instead of just like having camps next to each other and doing shit separately. So anyway.
Yeah, but I mean the mechanics were good. It's a pretty game. I had no problems running it at all.
Yeah.
And it's pirates, so it is on my radar.
Hell yeah, same. Definitely wishlist this if you like survival games, or check out the trailer for yourself. Next game we have here is Toxic Commando, which total surprise at how good this one was. What do you think, Steven?
Yeah, I'm actually very shocked, no, unironically, of how like pulled into this I was as an experience, because I guess I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe a little bit of jank, because
Right.
I don't know why, because it's like a B movie kind of thing, right? Or based around B movies, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean it's John Carpenter's Toxic Commandos, right? And he
Right.
doesn't make games, so it's like, you know, we're like, oh, okay, you know, this seems ridiculous. And I think the first trailer they showed off, everyone realized it was like a zombie game, and then it just got panned super hard. So yeah, just I don't know. But then I'm like, you know, Tox Commando, John Carpenter, probably gonna have badass music, probably gonna be like a cheesy action movie, and like have, you know, horror elements, and I think it's nailing all those things.
It got the tension all right. It got the intensity, like when in Left 4 Dead when you get swarmed by a bunch of zombies. I got that here.
Yeah.
There was different kinds of zombies, like all kinds of different zombies, which was really cool.
Yeah,
and then, like,
yeah.
set piece moments, like it was all over the place, but I loved it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it did kind of remind of Left 4 Dead in the way where like there's like an objective, like you have to do this thing and then do that thing, which leads to this. Like you have to like kill the pods on this thing, and then you have to like crank like a generator, right? Stuff like that.
which was not the easiest thing to do.
No, dude, cranking that fucking generator took way like 100 tries before I understood like putting the thing in the right place or whatever.
Yep,
it was tough.
Yep.
But the gunplay was pretty good. I feel like it controlled.
Yeah, the gunplay absolutely was great. But you drove most of the time. How was the driving?
Driving wasn't bad. I mean, it's mouse and keyboard driving, so it's like always kind of janky in that regard. But like, yeah, it was fun driving. There's definitely a lot of obstacles to run into.
Sorry, we're just watching B-roll in the background for behind the scenes here, and the mini game we were talking about. It's like imagine a bar that just goes back and forth really quickly. Yeah, and you have to hold a button and then press space bar when the hint appears, and it's not exactly clear. So.
Yeah, it's really confusing. But yeah, so I enjoyed the game itself, and actually the story was kind of cool, and I did skip the beginning cinematic because I was like, let's just get into the gameplay, but I bet you it's pretty awesome. So this game, I think, don't just forget about it. We were kind of blown away with how good it was, you know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, pretty dope.
Okay, so now we're talking about a game called Begraved. It's in the vein of like Repo or those, go inside the places with your friends, goof around, get killed by monsters, and get some loot and get out. Maybe
all the jerks out there call it friend slop. Anyway.
Yeah, friend slop, I guess.
Yeah, horror friend slop.
I mean, I like those games. Like
what was it?
There's gotta be a better name for them. Anyway,
wait, what's the one? The red one that's like something company. What is it?
Lethal
Company. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
No,
go ahead.
But yeah, it's like those. Only it's like medieval kind of, right, and mystical.
Yeah.
It had like a weird cutscene that we thought was like. So yeah, the cinematic was like super long. And we thought it was the entrance to get into playing a level, but it was not. And so we did it multiple times, and we ended up wasting like 5 or 10 minutes on just watching this intro.
Yeah, and you couldn't skip it.
And you couldn't skip it. Yeah, that was a big no-no.
Yeah.
But
that was funny. But if you do play the demo, go upstairs. Do not go to the locked. Don't lock the door.
You know what? But I'll tell you what though, this game, it gave me all of the notes from a good like a Repo or a friend slop game that you get, right? I thought the monsters were more interesting to me. Just I don't know. Maybe I'm just more into medieval stuff, but it has the medieval flavor on it. Was this the one that like the torches ran out really quickly?
This is the one with the torch running out for sure. Because we played another one, but this is the one we're talking about.
it definitely like tense moments as far as like
Yeah.
we went in, you triggered something, and then like a ghost came after me, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, I ran. I took off. It definitely like you're saying medieval, it's got that kind of like Plague Doctor look to it, the characters, right?
Yeah.
So I guess Victorian maybe too, a little bit. But anyway, the monsters are fucking creepy in these games, and this game is no difference. But yeah, there's just like a mechanic of having a torch and then like lighting wall torches everywhere, and that kind of like boosts your score or the level or something. I don't know, but when the monsters show up, they fuck you up. I think Steven died twice, right?
I did die twice. Yeah. I think one of those like coffins opened up.
Yes.
There's a bunch of coffins and stuff that you loot, and there's like a morgue, I guess.
Yeah.
And you opened one of them and like it exploded or something because it was.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It blew up. That was not fun.
It was lots of explodey times.
But yeah, fun game. You're just collecting treasure, and then you gotta like pay this scary like Reaper type of guy to keep living.
Yes.
Yeah. That's kind of the whole thing.
There was an Axeman near the end of the round. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The Huntsman or something.
Yeah. Oh.
Anyways.
Oh my God.
He operates as like, here's your quota, basically.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's the guy I'm talking about. Yeah. So you got to pay him enough money after so many runs. So it really is like the other friend slop games. Same thing.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
If you like those, I think, keep this one on your radar.
I agree. Begraved is pretty cool. Okay, this next one is called Chained Wheels, okay? And it's just what you think. It's chained together, but you're driving cars with wheels. Pretty funny game, pretty wacky game. It's definitely tough. I know that, there's some quirks to it, right? That you got to figure out to get through the puzzles. But Steven, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, so essentially one of you is like the big lug around vehicle, and then the other one's like the small, more agile kind of vehicle, right? And each, you each play a different role in like what you can do. Like, and you kind of have to solve environmental puzzles. Like one we were going through, you have to like go through a loop tunnel, and you have to drive a certain way. And on the grass, when you hit the grass in a certain way, the spikes on the wheels activate and let you drive on the ceiling, and then press a button, right? But all of this is chained together, right? That's like,
so you got to
like driving mechanics.
Yeah, exactly. So like while he's hitting that button, I have to be driving right next to him. But the problem though that you'll find is that since you are chained together, if someone falls off the side and gets stuck between a tree on the chain, y'all are fucked.
There's a moment, I don't know if future Jacob will put this in here, but I feel like it's important. There's a moment where I got wrapped around the edge of a tree. I fell off the edge, and then he kept going forward, and the edge of the chain was around the one side, and then we both ended up going off the edge and having to reset. And
that's right.
We tried.
Pretty funny game. Goofy, but fun enough to talk about, I think.
Yeah, like the physics are just good enough to not get that frustrated, but also frustrating.
Yeah, definitely frustrating. So that's it. Those are the multiplayer games that we liked the most that we wanted to talk about. Steven, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, all of those are absolutely worth your time. There were a couple that in there that we couldn't actually play together as like multiplayer, but overall some really great stuff from Steam Next Fest for multiplayer stuff. Absolutely go check out every single one of these if you can.
Yeah, and even if you can't play those or don't find those interesting, there's a lot of other multiplayer demos out there that you can try as well. So it's definitely worth looking at any game you got on your wish list, seeing if they have a demo, and if it's multiplayer, try it with a friend. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and while you're at it, wish list it. It helps the devs get noticed, and it's free for you. So
heck yeah, wish list games. Thank you so much, Steven.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah. All right, so that was however many games we decided to talk about. I don't have a number right now, but you did probably if you read the description or whatever. But thanks for watching this video. Super Demo Bros for Steam Next Fest. It was an insane time in my life, of course. I streamed 5 days in a row, and we had a lot of fun. So thanks again to all the indie developers out there for making all these awesome games and giving us the opportunity to play these free demos. Thank you for watching the video. Let us know what you think of the games, or if there's games that we didn't talk about that you played that are super awesome. Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget, all of the games talked about are linked below in the description, so you can check them out. Some of them might not have demos, but make sure to wishlist all of the ones that sounded interesting to you. And then don't forget, check out our other Super Demo Bros videos on the playlist Super Demo Bros below. Watch our or listen to our 2 podcasts that we did so far talking about other demos we played. Follow at Neon Pocket Dimension here on YouTube for me. That'd be great. Check out twitch.tv/Foxy Steve, of course. Thanks to him for participating. Same with the Singer Bro, twitch.tv/the Singer Bro. Thanks to both of them for helping me with this video. And again, thanks for watching. And keep playing demos. Check out indie games. There's a lot of video games out there that are super cool. All right. Thank you. Bye.